Welcome to Stay
and Slay
with Mel
and Krissy. Also have a special guest.
We have
multiple
special guests today.
I know, and they're cute.
So, first guest today, obviously, is a permanent.
I was worried you weren't gonna say Susan first.
Susan.
She's here to stay, guys.
Susan's here to stay. She didn't have a choice.
Real ones rock with Suze.
Real ones rock with Suze. If you think she's weird, again,
just go.
No,
I'm kidding. I love you.
We love you guys. Please keep listening. But this is a work of art.
Yeah. We're gonna do it this time.
Okay. This is what's inside.
Oh my god, you guys finally get a sneak peek. Like what?
This is a sneak peek, but the other side of the painting has something inside it. One day you'll get to see.
Got it right below.
Cosmo and Wanda.
No. Their names are Sunny and Celia.
I know. But they look like Cosmo and Wanda.
I don't. Have you heard the song We Can't Be Friends by Ariana Grande?
Yeah.
Isn't it so good?
Yeah.
I can't stop listening to it.
I'm not
I'm addicted to it. She put something in the song.
I'm not the biggest Ariana fan, but yes.
I think the song only speaks facts.
It does.
The first,
but when you say we can't be friends, I think why can't we be friends?
Okay. I don't think you've heard the song enough.
Yeah.
I only fell in love with it when I heard a remix on TikTok. So speaks only facts, and it really inspired me to want to talk about friendship breakups, but also
okay.
A lot of people have kind of asked us about that.
Yeah.
So I feel like we needed to talk about it. But shout out to her, because her first verse is it hurts, but it's true.
Honestly, friendship breakups are so much worse
They're
than
so
real
much
breakups.
Worse.
And there's just so much truth to that. Especially another thing with female friendships is you could know someone for a year. Me and you, literally. We've been friends for almost a year now. I consider you so
Stop
close.
right now. We can't do this on camera.
I consider you such a close friend, and you know me on such a deep level compared to people that I've known
your whole life.
My whole life.
Right.
And I think say you're friends with someone for that long and something happens, that is just so devastating.
It is. It totally is. And it's almost a lot of those friendships only are still around because of how long they've been going on.
Yeah.
I feel friendship breakups need to be normalized, because I think a big factor in them hurting more than an actual breakup is the fact that when you stop being friends with someone, it kind of slowly happens, where if you realize you need to draw a line, just do it.
Yeah.
And then it won't hurt as long. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that's really true. I feel and I think this is more geared towards female friendships. Obviously, we don't know the male perspective, but I think compared to being in a relationship versus a friendship slowly kind of progresses into growing apart and whatever, and that's fine. When sometimes a breakup can be more abrupt and right away.
Right, something big happens.
Right. And I think in a way, sometimes the slow progression is almost worse.
It's torture.
It's torture.
It's like being in a relationship with someone and knowing it needs time, but you let it go on because you're settling. You know, type thing.
And I think...
Or when you're in and out of a relationship, on and off.
Yeah.
I've never done that, but that's what I would compare it to.
I feel in a way it's kind of wanting to keep a sense of loyalty to that person that you've known for however long. But at the end of the day, you need to kind of reflect and be okay, where's the line of this person is not kind of uplifting me the way that I want to be, or I'm not being supported. you kind of just have to take the time to reflect, even if they've been in your life for years.
Right. And I feel like with friends, it's like if you decide you need to step back from a friendship or completely end it, it's scary because that's really final.
Yeah.
Like,
and I think I kind of have a story.
Yeah. Story time.
So in high school, or like honestly growing up since elementary school, I had this one best friend. And honestly, I don't know if she watches, and if she does, she'll probably...
I know, because I want to talk about mine, but I'm like...
She'll probably recognize, but we're besties now.
Good.
But growing up, we were best friends, like high school best friends. But then like I got a boyfriend early in high school, and he just was horrible, but that's besides the point. So I kind of was like isolated to my friends, from my friends in high school. And it just caused like a huge rift. And that's a whole nother thing we can get on later, is like boyfriends and friendships.
Yeah.
But so long story short, we ended up kind of growing apart, and we did have conversations about it, but I think we were both at a point of like, okay, there's really nowhere we can go from here. So that was the end of high school. We both went away to college, and we kind of just didn't really talk for like maybe a good year.
Yeah.
And then we kind of slowly started like texting again and like sending each other stuff. And like now we hang out, and like we finally like hashed out everything. And like now like she is literally one of my best friends, and we've been best friends our whole lives. It was just kind of that moment that I think we both needed to like
be apart
to come back together to be better, you know?
That's such a real thing. Like, I feel like we all grow up with like that one best friend, and you almost become one person.
Yeah.
And it's really needed to have that time apart. Like, I've had many friendships where I've been like Krissy, and
Yeah.
And there's always a good moment for a separation, so you can come back stronger. I've definitely had many friendships be like that. I would say, though, my experience with like friendship breakups, I genuinely broke up with a friend.
Oh, let's hear.
Freshman year of college. And I don't know if she listens because we're on good terms.
It's all love. Like,
it really is all love.
I
don't know if she'd ever listen, but...
Well, I think something that we need to like preface is that everything that we talk about is like our personal experiences, and it's nothing negative towards anybody. This is just what we've been through, in our perspective of life. Everyone has their own story, so there's that.
But yeah, I've genuinely like sent a breakup text to somebody
God.
that I was friends with freshman year of college. Really important to feel uplifted by your friends. And just supported and loved.
Yeah.
And not like you're being like attacked all the time.
Right. Like you're anxious.
Or like it's their way or the highway.
You can't like go to them.
Right.
To confide.
Right. And me and her were super close senior year of high school, and then we became roommates in college. And I loved every second of it. Don't get me wrong. We have so many good memories. We made so many friends together. But it got to a point in college, and this is why they say not to room with people that you're friends with.
Yep.
Like, this is literally the reason.
Yep.
We both kind of found different groups of friends that like to do different things.
Yeah.
And her major was much different than mine. And it was just, we were genuinely going our separate ways while living in the same room.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened. And I kind of saw it as like a way out, not necessarily out, but like originally I was just gonna take like a break, like kind of just like grow distant, like purposely. And then one day she had texted me, and she was like, "Is something going on? Like I'm confused." And I was just like, "I'm gonna be honest with you, like I've been like better off," and just I was really honest with how like she made me feel. Yeah. And like, how I think we were just going our separate ways, and we weren't friends after that. Yeah. But we both expressed that we had a lot of love for each other. Right. And I feel like any friend that I've lost throughout the years, whether we just grew apart or something happened. Yeah. I still have so much love for everybody.
Absolutely.
I mean, especially her, because she still texts me happy birthday, and we'll slide up on each other's stories. When she got into law school, I like messaged her like, congratulations, she got a full ride. So I was like, slay, good for you. And like, I still root for her, right, but from a very far distance. And I think it's what's best. Honestly, it was best for both of us. She found her own friend group, and I found mine, and we became separate people. But like, we needed that, right? And it was healthy for us. So,
well, and I think like that's a great example of how kind of like growing up is just.
It just is.
It just is what needs to happen.
Like no one talks about how, like, that's life. Like you just like grow out of people. They grow out of you.
Yeah. The way I kind of see life is like everyone that you meet or that is in your life, like every relationship, every friendship, that is in your life for a reason. And you're going to grow and outgrow and rekindle with like friendships and stuff. And that's okay because people change and, you know, it's a wave. Like no one's linear in their growth at all. So, like, it's okay if you've been friends with someone and right now it's, like, stagnant or something and you're kind of taking a break. Like, and, like, you can be on good terms with someone even though you couldn't live together. You couldn't be, like, good friends, you know? Right. Like, there doesn't need to be, like, a negative connotation at all.
Yeah. I think it's so important to reflect how you feel when you're around certain people. Yeah. Because if you're not doing that, it's just going to build up, and then one day you're going to be like, I'm so hurt. Yeah. Like, I don't like how I feel. Yeah. But I feel like it's so important to reflect because, I mean, for me, it takes me a long time to process certain things. Mm-hmm. I mean, I do have a processing delay, but... I have a processing delay, but like it always, when something happens to me, I don't know how I feel for a couple days. And then after a couple days, I'm like, oh my God, I should have been so mad.
Okay.
Like I'll hear.
I'm the opposite.
If I heard like what someone said behind my back, for example, just making something up. But like, say I heard like one of my friends said something behind my back. Yeah. Someone tells me, and like when I'm being told, I'm like, oh, okay. And then like 4 days later, I'm like, no, I should have done something about that. Yeah. Like, I'm mad now because it takes me a while to process. Like, wow, that was actually awful. Like, why do I consider that person a friend? You know? Yeah. I have that problem.
It is funny because, like, you will say stuff to me and then I'm like, hello, Krissy. Like,
yeah. It takes me a second
to, like, not cool.
The light bulb, I'm like, oh.
Me, I'm like, I get, like, pissed right away and then I kind of get out of it.
I know, and I'm not an angry person. Like, I don't even have road rage. Like, I don't get mad.
Oh, God. I'm just Latina.
Right. And, well, 4 days later I get mad and I'm like, well, it's too late. It's irrelevant now. Yeah. Like, what am I doing? But I feel like, I don't know, like, what... I feel like ever since I became friends with you, honestly, like, you've helped me see what, like, female friendship really should look like. Yeah. And I've started prioritizing that within all my friendships. Yeah. Like, we should be uplifting each other. It should not be a competition. We should all make each other feel good. And if that's not happening, there's a problem.
Something I want to say, and I'm going to get really deep here.
I'm
scared.
Do it.
Okay.
Do it.
So I think like in college I struggled a lot with some of my friends like just feeling left out or like not included or not kind of like wanted, whatever. And I still had, you know, my main people that I could go to for anything, and it was like a select few. Obviously, we lost our best friend, and she was one of those select few, and I think once she passed, I really realized, like, oh my God, like, I am never going to take these people for granted. In that moment, I was just like, your life can change in an instant.
So true.
And that made me realize, why do I have these friends that are giving me anxiety? Why do I have these friends that aren't checking in on me, that aren't making sure I'm okay? Like,
I relate kind of in the same way when we lost Shay.
Yeah.
I remember, because before, obviously, no one ever, like, thought that would ever happen.
Yeah.
Like, she was my best friend since the day we met. Like, we knew right away, like, we were meant for each other.
Yeah.
And whenever anything bad went on in my life, I'd always be like, well, I still have Shay. Like, all the time. People treated me wrong, like, friendships going downhill, relationships, whatever it was. I'd always be like, all I have to do is text Shay and I'll feel better.
Yeah.
And that's just always what I did. So when I lost her, I spiraled. I mean, spiraled the fact that she was gone, but also just like,
what am I going to do?
What am I going to do?
Yeah.
Because I knew no matter what would happen in my life, like, me and her were to the end.
Yeah.
And so nothing ever stressed me out. You know? Like, everyone's scared to be alone. Like, I knew I was going to have her till the end.
Yeah.
So, like, whenever anything bad happened, I'd just be like, well, I have Shay. And I'd text her, and we'd laugh about it. And we'd just, you know, we'd go on. And then I was, like, literally all the time. And then now I find myself when I realize, like, what people are good for me and the ones that aren't, I'm like, oh, my God. Like, what do I do? I'm going to be alone. Like, you know? Like, it's just scary.
And the way it's, like, really special that, like, we've said it so many times, we met through Shay, but I think, like, we were meant for each other. I think, like, subconsciously she knew that she always said we would be friends, but, like, unfortunately everything happened when it did, and it's like, I would not be here without you.
I know, it's crazy because everything does happen for a reason.
Right. And, like, in a way, whatever, like, everything happens for a reason. But it's like, in a way, we always say to each other, like, we're Shay's gift because you're kind of the only person other than her family that can, in a way, like, help. But that's, like, a whole nother.
We'll get there one day.
But I think the whole point is, like, just caring for your friends so deeply already on one level is just, I just love to express that to the people I care about now, especially because I'm truly so thankful for everyone in my life, for everyone that I know I can just text and call and talk to. And it's like, since Shay's passing, I have made a huge point and kind of pact to myself, I'm not going to waste my time anymore. Like, I'm not going to put my energy into, like, why am I not getting invited? Why are they not having me come to this party? Like, I don't care.
Right.
Because if they wanted me there, they would have me there, and they don't. And I don't want to be there.
Right.
Like,
I think it's so important to remember, like, when a door closes, another one opens.
Yes.
Like, not that people are replaceable, because that's how I feel whenever I say that. Like, it does make people sound like recyclable bottles. You know what I mean? Like, they're just going to come back.
And I think the way of that is, like, you have certain people in your life for certain phases of your life.
True.
Like, the people that were my friends in the beginning of college, I will love them forever because we were best friends at that time. We're not best friends anymore, and that's okay. Like, I'm always going to love them.
How to know when it's time.
Yes.
So
what is time?
Time, well, is that a question? Is that like a question?
Low-key time is a concept.
Do you believe in time?
Like
who made that up? Who decided there was 12 months in a year?
Yes, and who made up that it's like 12 a.m. and 12 p.m.? Also,
me. Susan.
Also, who made up?
How old are you?
Susan is I don't know. Guys, how old is Susan? What do you think?
Tyler? He didn't comment.
He commented this week.
Oh, you didn't tell me. You didn't tell me about any comments. You're mean.
Sorry, I forgot. Tyler commented this week. Thank you, Tyler. Maybe you didn't resonate with the last two.
We love it.
Like, we literally love it. Like, we love it.
We love it.
Well, because it's like we said last time, if you wanted to, you would. And sometimes you feel dumb. And then getting, like, the validation. That,
can I just say?
Yeah.
I have had the crazy experience with doing this. Because
yes,
obviously it's a very vulnerable and, like, scary thing to be doing.
Yeah.
Especially because you know for a fact some people are like, they really think that, you know, they should play like, you know, like, there's people having
there's
thoughts,
people talking shit for sure.
But now I just don't care anymore.
No.
Like, I literally I went to the gym in my teacher outfit and was working out on the treadmill in it. And I was like, people are going to think I look crazy. And then I was like, what do I care?
Right. What are they going to do?
And when I'm on the treadmill, I get really into my music.
Yeah.
And sometimes I, like, tame it back because I'm like, girl, you're in public. But now I'm like, I do not care.
Yeah.
Like, everywhere where I'm at, I'm like, no, I literally don't care. Like,
yeah.
I'm, like, at that point where I, like, I don't care. I just don't care.
I don't
care
either. I don't.
I just don't.
I don't care.
Like, but I've always kind of been that way, like, especially with, like, social media. Like, I am not going to fit in. I don't care.
Okay,
I want to do my own thing.
My Instagram, though, like, I love a good photo shoot. And, like...
Me too. No, me too. But, like... I'm going to post 3 posts in a row if I want.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Like, I'm going to post whatever the hell I want because
like,
it's my Instagram.
I've
like,
never cared.
You know what we have learned?
What?
From starting this podcast? We have also learned who, like, the friends are that are going to be there to support
uplifting.
us. Yes.
So true. Guys.
Yes.
Don't start a mental health podcast because then we have competition. But do at the same time because I feel like I'm mentally growing so much through this.
Yeah, because it's like a therapy session.
It's forcing myself to, like, reflect, too, on things that, like, I go through, but I normally wouldn't sit down and be like, wow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's very helpful.
It's actually been so helpful, and, like, I'm even, like, going to the gym consistently and, like, just... I've been choosing me lately. It's my thing right now. Like, when I start slacking, I'm like...
Love choosing me.
No, choose yourself. Go to the gym. Do it. Whatever it is, I'm like... Ugh.
Yeah.
Like, I'm ahead on my schoolwork. Like, slay.
Yeah, slay.
Like, there's just, like... This has been so nice.
Yes.
So, I don't care who's listening, what's listening.
Yeah.
Who cares? Who's mean about it?
Literally be mean.
It's all about me. It's all about...
Yeah, because this is our life. Like, you know, we're the ones. We're the ones. We're the ones that, like, you know, are doing this. It's our life. If we want to do it, we can do it.
So
anyway,
we should get back on topic. But this was fun.
Yeah. Well, okay. So the point is,
right. The point.
I think
it's full circle.
Full circle. I think it's that. Mm-hmm. There comes a time when there is someone in your life that is not making you feel good and you need
weighing
to
you down.
Cut it off. It's like a weight.
Right.
So, oh my God, I have a story.
Okay.
It's tea.
Where's this energy coming from?
It's tea.
All right, spill.
So, in high school... I'm not gonna get angry because this is a mental health podcast, so it's all love.
She's gonna get angry.
I'm gonna try not.
Basically, she means she's heating up.
I'm heating up. I'm sweating. Okay, so in high school, I had this boyfriend. Whatever.
Okay.
And I was in this friend group, and my boyfriend was in the friend group at the time, and this other girl who I considered my best friend. We had been best friends since elementary school.
Going. You guys already know where this is going.
You know where this is going. They literally would, like, hang out on their own, like, exclude me, like, all this stuff. Yeah,
no.
Like, diabolical.
How long did you put up with
Diabolical. This? Oh, like a year, probably.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, no, like, I've literally, guys, like, I've grown so much.
Oh, my God.
So, I really considered this girl one of my best friends, and I did not want to lose her. Like, I did everything in my power to, like, not lose her, not lose my boy. Like, in my head, I just wanted everything to be perfect. So I talked to her about it because I was like, you know, we're friends. We can be on that level. Like, we were in sports together, whatever. And I talked to her about it, and she was so like, oh my gosh, like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to come off that way.
I was nervous she's going to be like,
oh, you just wait.
You're a jealous.
Oh, you wait.
Okay.
Oh, wait. So
you're sassy.
So then
I'm like sunshines and rainbows. And
it's like, not sunshines and rainbows.
Fire.
So I talked to this girl, whatever, we're cool. I'm like, good. I talked to my dumbass boyfriend and I'm like, yeah, like, we're all cool, whatever. So we hang out again. The same shit just kept repeating over and over again. you know. Basically, the point of the story is it never ended. We broke up. They're still
to this day.
I don't know to this day, but they remained friends. And looking back, I feel bad. And I was very young at the time.
You feel bad?
I feel bad for myself.
Oh,
I feel bad for my younger self.
I was like,
because I was so young at the time.
That was the biggest plot twist.
Oh, no. I don't feel bad for either of them. Yeah. But it just put me through so much stress. Like, I literally would physically feel sick because of how much anxiety this would give me. Like, it was crazy. And I was like 16. And I'm like, you know, looking back, I would never.
You never find anyone else.
Yes, like I thought I would never make more friends.
And a little girl.
Yeah. So.
Which I think you know when you know. When you know, you take a step back and you realize you should have known way long ago.
Yeah. Okay, you're like saying a poem.
I know. You know, I actually wanted to talk about this at some point. I love poetry.
Yeah, you're a good writer.
I read poetry books. I love poetry. I've had friendships that obviously I feel like all relationships can have their rocky patches.
Yeah.
But when they're happening like consistently.
Right.
And when you realize like, oh, this might be when I should stop.
Yeah.
When it's happening, it's like a cycle.
Yeah.
Cycles will repeat until you break them.
Yep.
So you kind of have
That's a great way to put it.
If you want to stop feeling that way, if someone's making you feel so little.
Yeah.
That's the word I like to use. Little. And making you feel so unimportant.
Mm-hmm.
But also, like, I think when you know, once you know, and you look back, I'm trying to make this make sense because in my head it's beautiful and it's perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
When you know, and when you know, you look back and you realize, wow, what have I been doing? I should have known this a long time ago.
Yeah.
This person has been making you feel so little, so unimportant, just all these negative feelings. You know, they're making you anxious. You're scared to spend time with them, but you're also for some reason scared to be without them.
Yeah.
You kind of have to like take a step back, reflect on it, and break away from it.
Yeah.
And once you close that door, another one opens, and you will find what will eventually uplift you and make you feel good. And then you'll be like, wow, this is how I always should have been feeling.
Yeah.
And I think a big thing that I struggle with, like I said, when things happen to me, I don't process them.
Yeah.
Right away. After a couple of days, I'm like, ouch, like I'm actually really hurt by that.
Mm-hmm. Ouch.
So for me, it's really hard to stand up for myself in the moment.
Yeah.
Because I don't realize how I'm feeling in the moment.
Right.
I think a big step for when you do know is talking about it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily right to like not give somebody a second chance. Like definitely.
I don't think so either.
And I've had friendships where I've sat the person down and talked to them how I was feeling. It happens again.
Yeah.
And that's when the cycle starts repeating and you're like, I already told you how this makes me feel, so now I have to go. You know?
Yeah.
Like when you've already voiced how you feel, give them another chance. And if it's not working, it's not working.
And the point when you need to kind of realize like, okay, I need to either say something or like cut this off is when there's no more respect. Because bottom line, I think in life, we need to just respect each other, you know, be kind to one another. And when it gets to the point of like you feel like you're not being respected, you feel like you might not be heard. But there's also those friendships, you know, and I've had plenty of them where we kind of just grow apart and there was never like a conversation or anything. And it's like, how do we go about those situations, you know?
One thing to go along with like the no respect aspect of it. I think acknowledging the issue with them is so important because their response to you when you voice your feelings.
Yes, very important.
Their response tells everything. Like, if they either flip it on you and make you feel like you did something wrong, that's a huge red flag. Let's talk red flags in friendships.
Yes.
But also, like, if they want to blame it on somebody else or something else, that's also a red flag. Like, if they can't take responsibility to the slightest bit or say the words, let's work on it, or just say anything like, you know, I could do better.
Yeah.
That is all a response in its own, and that will tell you if it should stay in your life or it's time to let it go.
Yeah.
And, you know, they always say when you let things go, they will find their way back to you if they're meant to be.
Right.
So I think it's always important to remember, too, like, not to be scared to have those conversations.
Yeah.
Because if that's the result of the conversation, you guys are no longer in each other's lives, it's probably for the better. And it's happening for a reason.
Well, and communication is key in any friendship or relationship. Anywhere. Obviously, everyone says that anywhere. But it's like, if you have an issue, no one knows that you have an issue if you don't voice it. The same goes for,
don't be nonchalant about it.
Right. And it's the other way around. Don't worry about what people think about you if they haven't said anything to you.
Right.
Because if someone hasn't voiced a concern to you, then there's no issue.
No, that's so true. Because if someone has a problem with you and they're not telling you,
it's not a problem.
It's not a problem. Because
that's
their problem, actually.
Right.
Not being able to talk to you about it.
That's why, like,
true.
You need to speak up on how you feel. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I love to, like, talk things out. It is hard for me to, like, get deep with someone if I'm not, like, on that level with them.
Or if you're not ready either.
Right.
Like, I've had times where, like, I'm too hurt to talk yet.
Yeah, like you need your time.
I need my time, and when I'm ready, I'll let you know how I feel.
The friendships where there isn't, like, an exact issue and you just kind of, like, had a falling out, it's okay. Like, you don't have to not be friends. Like, there's people that I was so close to at a point. I don't really talk to them, but if I see them or if they post something, like, I'll comment.
It's all love.
It's all love at the end of the day. So
for me, it's always all love. Like, I can't hold a grudge or be mad at somebody. Like, even, like, ex-boyfriends, like, I always go
Can we talk about how the word breakup is such a negative thing?
Right.
It doesn't need to be.
It doesn't need to be. I always make sure they know, like, they can always, like, if they ever need anything, like, I'm still there. And I do have a lot of love in my heart for them.
Yeah.
I've always been that way because you never know. Like, life, you can't. Like, I don't take anything for granted, even the people who have treated me badly. Like, I know that hurt people, and I care about them still. And that's what I really hate about me, is that I understand people too well, so I kind of, like, justify the way they treat me. And
the thing is, you can understand why someone has certain actions, but that doesn't justify
their behavior. That's what I was trying to say.
Yes. So the point, I think that's, like, a really good point, is, like,
you can justify someone's actions, but you can't justify their behavior.
Exactly.
That's exactly what I was trying to say.
Because and grow as a person, but I can also recognize the good times I had with those people.
Right, that's so true.
The reason why, you know, all these, like, relationships that I've had, you know, friend or romantic, like, they all came in my life for a reason. Every single one of them, I learned a new lesson. Mm-hmm. And, like, you can look back on all your relationships and each one is, like, a little chapter of your book, you know? Like, it goes back to communication is key. Like, sometimes you might not get to tell that person truly how special they are to you. Express how you feel. Yeah. So that was kind of stupid, but I don't know.
No, it's okay. It's beautiful, Mel. Be nice to yourself.
I know. We'll keep that in because, guys, like, be nice to yourself.
Breakups, they should not be negative, like, in any aspect in life. Like, like I said, there's no reason to be talking negatively on somebody if just because you guys went your separate ways in life. Like,
right.
Those people, you know, like, past boyfriends, past best friends, whatever the ex in my life is, like, I can still love you from afar.
Yeah.
And I can still, like, root for you from afar. And, like, that's what's best for both of us, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
and I think something that I want to, like, say is that it wasn't easy to kind of get to this point that we're at.
Oh, for sure.
Because, and honestly,
isn't.
I feel like, it's not.
Still
like,
isn't.
It's not easy.
Every person you let go in life is another, like, it's hard every time. It's never easy. I think what just gets stronger is yourself and those boundaries that you have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is, like, part of growing up. Like, boundaries are so important, and you can only really decide what your boundaries are through your experiences.
Right. And I think also, like, it's like we said earlier, getting older, it's kind of a lesson of learning, just respect these people that have been in your life, that were in your life for a reason and a time, because you just never know, like, who might be your boss one day.
Right, who crosses your path coworker.
Again. Right. Her and I were literally, like, the best of friends our first 2 years of college. Mm-hmm. She ended up transferring, and, like, I will always love her so much. Mm-hmm. We lived together. It was just me and her, and, like, towards the end, she kind of, like, kept more to herself, and we, you know, I would hang out with my sorority friends. So we kind of just slowly grew apart a little bit, and then she transferred, and we don't talk anymore. But, like, I will always cherish that time.
Right.
You know? And I guess you could consider that a friendship breakup, because I was so, like, sad that we didn't talk anymore, you know?
I remember, like, my first friend growing up that I stopped being friends with, like, I think it was in junior high. Like, she had just moved to our school in 7th grade. She had no friends, and me and my best friend took over. Like, we became, like, a little group of three.
Yeah. Little trio.
We were trio.
I know. I was like, don't say it.
No, we became a little trio.
We became a little threesome.
In 7th grade. No. We all became, like, this cute little trio, and we were all hanging out, like, all the time, posting left and right on Instagram and Snapchat. And I think, like, 8th grade or freshman year, like, she really went her separate way. Like, she met new people, and she was just becoming way more social than I could be at the time. I was so shy.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, crying in my closet, like, like, I miss her. I wish we were still so close. I thought she was my friend for life. Like, just, I really, like, I romanticize almost every relationship, I swear, in my life. Like, I love the idea of, like, friends for life. Like, I love that. And I romanticize every relationship that comes my way. Like, I always want it to be, like, the best it can be, you know? Yeah. That's just always how I am. And that was, like, the first time where I was, like, I think that was my first experience with growing apart. Yeah. And, like, being able to, like, actually realize what was going on. Right. Like, I was at an age where, like, I could actually be like, wait, what happened?
Yeah.
But, like, now, like, to this day, like, we still talk. Like, we actually hung out over the summer, and we went on this really beautiful walk, and it was so, like, spiritual. Like, it was just, like, a moment of, like, wow, like, we are still in each other's lives. Yeah. Like, this was the friend I was so worried about losing, and she's still here. Yeah. And we've both, like, we've seen each other grow up and, like, turn into quite literally different humans. Like, people talked about being in your 20s more, and especially about the negative, because I feel like it's just, like, you're in your 20s, let's party and whatever.
It's the best time of your life.
But it's actually really hard, because literally the second you step foot off your college campus,
life is different.
All your friends you had those 4 years, you literally were each other's home away from home. You all go your separate ways. Yeah. And some people grow faster than others. Mm-hmm. Some people, you know, literally have babies and a husband. And some people are, like, getting their first job. And some people aren't working at all. Like, they don't know what they want to do in life. They're lost. Mm-hmm. And you literally are, it's very hard to be friends with people who aren't at the same level as you. Yeah. And it's not even mean. It's, like, reality.
It is reality,
and no one talks about it. And I wish it was talked about it more, so I could have been more, like, prepared for that, and almost, not that I don't appreciate everything in my life. I've always appreciated the time with people, and I love being in the moment, and like, my friends know I love them. Like, I wish I kind of prepared myself for that, so I could, like, start, like, preparing myself for all those losses, because I have lost a decent amount of friends since school has ended.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been through a lot since then, too.
Right.
But I do believe that would have happened regardless of grief.
It would have, yeah.
Regardless of experiencing grief for the first time, I really do believe that that's just what happens in your 20s. And I tell my friends who are about to graduate now, I'm like, your life won't be the same in a year. Like, I'm just telling you now so you can be ready for that.
Yeah.
Because I really wasn't. And I don't think I ever had the time to think about that.
I finally feel like I let go of all those, like, friendships. I just don't really worry about them.
Kind of clinging on to.
Yeah.
Out of, like,
and not even, like, letting go, like, we're not
fear,
friends.
almost.
It's just, like, I'm not really worried, you know? Like, I'm living my life right now. The people that I love and I see are people that I talk to, you know, almost every day. And I finally feel so fulfilled with my friendships. I finally feel like I'm so comfortable with who is in my life. And I don't think I could ever have said that in any other point in my life than right now.
Yeah.
Like, I truly feel like the people that are in my life right now are staying for good because we aren't in college anymore and we still see each other and we still talk. Talk about, like, traveling.
Oh, you want to talk about traveling?
Yeah, because I feel like we both, Krissy and I haven't seen each other in like 2 weeks, which is so weird for us because we literally act like we're in a relationship. We are.
I was like laughing as soon as she gets to California. Like last week, she was like, I miss you. And I was like, Mel,
come home.
Why do we act like we're dating?
No, because like we literally do. And then Krissy was in Boston and I'm like,
come home.
I want to talk about how much like, have you ever kind of dealt with like plane anxiety?
Oh,
or travel anxiety?
I don't like roller coasters. I don't like anything like scary.
Roller coaster equals plane.
Well, the feeling you get when you're going down is the same feeling you get in your tummy when the plane is taking off and landing.
You're not supposed to get that feeling.
Well, I do because I'm scared of that.
Oh, okay.
You don't get, your stomach doesn't drop when you're going down or like on a roller coaster.
On a roller coaster, not on an airplane.
Well, it does for me. It's scary, and I don't like how fast it goes when it's landing. Like, I feel like it's about to crash into the airport.
Yeah, but it won't.
It's scary, though, because...
Yes, it is scary.
Don't validate me.
I am validating you. No, it is scary. It is.
No, I'm kidding.
I just have to be like, it
We're all
won't.
different.
Because I travel too much to be like, yeah.
Before I turned 21.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like I hadn't been on a plane before that. It was to Florida. And then my second plane was to Denver.
Wow.
Last January.
That's crazy.
Well, this January, I guess. What would that be considered? Last January?
Last January?
This past New Year's. And then I
wild.
just took a plane to Boston for my spring break.
Cool.
Because, I still get one.
Since we both just went on trips, it would be cool to talk about, like, how traveling and, like, experiencing new things and making new friends is so important.
So when I started, literally in January, I wouldn't even consider... Florida was, like, a family trip. Like, Denver was my first, like... No parents.
Trip with friends.
Yeah. Like, you've never done that? Like, that's how it always is with me.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm always just, like, unexperienced, I guess. Mm-hmm. So, like, going to Denver was such a culture shock because I couldn't believe how different the people were.
Yeah.
And, like, I didn't really think it was going to be that much different. Like, also, the security there, nothing like Chicago.
Yeah.
Like...
No one's like Chicago.
Literally, like, there are people, like, going through security, like, here's the 2 lines. They were going in between the lines.
Yeah.
And no one cared.
Yeah.
And, like, they were like, open your bags. We opened our bags. No one even looked inside.
Right.
So, and no one's judging each other. The outfits. You don't have to dress up to go out.
Yeah.
You could be in your sweatpants and on the dance floor. Like, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Also, they had a bunch of art which I really loved, like, in these bars. Itself was a tree, like, you were in the tree. And that's then cool. The dance floor, the sky was clouds.
Yeah.
And there was a room full of light bulbs. So random. And then there was a room shaped like a beehive.
Wait,
and then a room with a bunch of cushions on the floor. And then another bar we went to, each room had a different DJ with different types of music.
Yeah.
And they all had different, like, looks. Like, it all felt like almost like you were at, like, some museum. Can I also just tell a funny story?
Yeah.
Because I was in the mood of, this is my last night here, I'm never seeing these people again, I decided to just approach, like, groups, because there was a ton of groups on the street, like, either waiting for a bar or waiting for their Uber. So I just approached people, or even at the bar itself, and I'd ask them to bark like a dog.
I love barking at people.
And I was like, I'm gonna see if people will bark for me. I like go up to these guys and I'm like, can you bark? And they go, oh my God, like, hitting on me. And I'm just like, what? And I start barking and they're like, dang. And I'm
bark right now.
No.
I want to
maybe
hear
later.
Your bark.
I want to catch you off guard.
Okay.
Well, I'm barking at these guys and, like, they took it as like me hitting on them.
Like, no, I'm just barking at you.
And I was like, I am going home. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter. That's how...
Woof, woof. No, like, I was barking kind of, like, unhinged. Unhinged bark.
The people in San Diego were great.
Like, I want to go to California.
We should go. I love California.
July.
But July.
Everything
I'm
only free in July, so...
I'm only free in July. But, yeah, the city was, like, so lively. Every night we went out, like, on weekdays, too. It was, oh, my God, it was a lot. Relating it back to the whole point today of friendship.
How? How?
Because I think that... You get your toe away.
Our toes keep touching in this new
Yeah, we don't know how
setup.
We feel about this setup. We actually didn't even address it. Like, I don't know how we feel about this setup.
It's new. Oh, we paid $1 million for that, and yeah.
It's cute.
Yeah. We're running a business.
We're running a business here. You wouldn't know because you didn't have a business. You know, that Kim Kardashian.
No, I'm kidding. So travel and friendship, how do those...
I think they relate because I think it's really cool to experience traveling with a group of friends and just, like, certain friends in general. I think you learn a lot about each other, how much... And that helps a lot, too, to realize how much someone really, truly is going to be in your life.
And like, fits. Like, if you prioritize the same things and if you have the same goals and in, like, literally just you're traveling, like...
Right. Like, someone wants to do those things with you. You guys have the same interests, you know? Like, I think that's really important. I think as we are getting older, we just want to prioritize... the people that are gonna be there to do the things we want to do.
Right.
You know?
Right. And the people who are gonna put that same effort in to, like, do that back.
Right. And that's on period.
And our love for these are just, like...
Yeah. So when Krissy and I became friends, all we would do is go to Five Below and get these mystery squishes, and we would open them together, and it was, like, the best thing in the world.
It's hilarious. Like,
it's so funny. And then
funny.
One day,
probably not at all, but it's funny for us.
It's funny for us. And one day we opened the same exact one, and we were like, oh my God, that was so cool.
It was so funny.
It was so funny.
But you had to be there.
You just had to be there. But, like, today we thought we would get one because we were there. That's why we got Sunny and celiac.
Don't call her celiac disease.
What is it?
Her name is Celia, and she's so cute. Some might argue she's cuter than Sunny.
Oh my gosh. There's nothing to argue about here. Yes.
Like
if you want to judge us.
Like, she's got a lisp.
Judge us for having squishmallows, you don't know why.
We don't owe an explanation,
No.
so we won't be giving one right now. Maybe in the future. At the same time. Ready?
Okay, go.
Set, go. Oh, I already have him.
I hate that one.
I freaking have this one. It looks like my cat at home. Oh, It actually looks more like my dead cat Felix. Shout out to you.
I don't know what this is.
I have that one too. This is no fun. I have both of these.
I don't like this one.
Well, a fun little segment that we're gonna do each podcast, hopefully, if we remember.
Yeah.
We kind of preached this in like our first episode way back when. That was so long ago now, like literally.
It was. It's kind of weird.
About how important the little things are to us.
Yes.
And I think it's important to just like always take a moment to think about like what made your day, what little thing like really stuck out to you and like made you unnecessarily really happy. Seen each other in 2 weeks. What happened in the last 2 weeks that is small but you want to like just really appreciate right now?
Okay. So this past week I was in San Diego for work and literally just touching down in California and seeing palm trees.
Oh my God.
Was like the most exciting feeling ever.
Love trees.
I love palm trees.
Kind of.
And mountains. Oh my God, I love.
They have mountains there?
Yeah.
I need to go. I really need to go.
I mean,
I'm trying to like see the world now that I've dipped my toe into travel.
Yeah, and you need to start coming on trips with me.
I always loved when I see a tree all on its own, like not with the other trees.
Yeah.
I don't know why. They're so much cuter. And I was walking my dog and we turned a corner and there was those white trees that smell really bad in the spring. I don't know what they're called.
Yes, they smell.
Pear trees? Is that what they're called?
I don't know what they're called, but I know what you're talking about.
But like sporadically in my camera roll throughout the years, random little trees all on their own because they're so much cuter. I had my students' lunch cards on my desk, long story short. And I've had this particular student's lunch card for like 3 weeks now. And I've never noticed. For some reason, on just his card, the suicide prevention line number and like all these helplines in the U.S. and like just different like places where you can reach out for help was like printed on the back. And I was like, why is this here? Like,
that's crazy.
I'm guessing the printing company that like they do the cards through like must just do that to like help people like in hopes that it finds the right people. Like, what a sign in the weirdest form of sign. I feel like that's such a sign. And I do believe in signs. Like, if you don't, you're weird.
I mean, you have to believe in signs.
Like, not even
to
like,
have any happiness.
Right, also, like, what was your little thing? Like, what was yours? I really do want to know.
I think it would also be cool. Like, I hope people comment back, but I'm going to ask you guys this. Like, I think it would be cool if people would, like, submit stories for us to, like, go over or, like,
and, like
questions.
React to or, like, give advice to or, like...
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just, like...
Questions for us.
Related like, to mental health. It doesn't even need to be, like, advice or, like, your guys' advice for things we've talked about.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to only be, like, mental health, you know?
It's a
like,
space
because it's a space
everyone.
where we can just talk. Like...
Right.
I think everything is mental health at the end of the day. So, like, ask us anything, you know?
Right. She's like, let's talk about travel and related to friendship breakups.
I'm like, talk to me about anything. I love it.
Right.
Thanks for watching Stay
and Slay
with Mel
and Krissy. And as always,
stay vibrant. Bye.